Right. This is the mental health support for adults in Croydon as part of the One Croydon training programme, which is aimed at frontline workforce in Croydon. And we're hoping that this is also will be a bit of a networking opportunity as well for you to find out what other services there are and get updates on what everyone's doing supporting mental health for adults in Croydon. So rather than delay now, let's go to our first speaker. Is Sarah Moody here?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Sarah, staring me in the face. Lovely to see you, Sarah. I'm presuming, have you got a presentation?
I do have a presentation. I'm just going to see if I can try and get it up.
I will.
Because we use Teams and I'm not used to using Zoom. So
Right.
let's see how this...
Just make you co-host here. Yeah. Yep. Okay. You should be able to. I made you co-host there. Right, so if you go down to the bottom bar at the very bottom screen, there's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth one in says share screen. There's an arrow pointing up. Is that any help? So if you go above and just hover, you'll find quite a lot of little icons. Excellent. I see your screen.
So, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So I've just got a couple of slides here. So my name is Sarah Moody and I am one of the service managers in Croydon. So I manage early intervention service and central locality, which is one of the CMHTs that we have in Croydon. So I just wanted to just quickly go through the mental health services that we have in Croydon. Can you see that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so if I need help or if I need help with my mental health, first place you go to is GP. But if it's urgent, you go to A&E, and there's also the home treatment team. You can get a referral to home treatment team, self-referral, or via your GP. There are other avenues from your GP. So it may be that you need early intervention. So you've got psychosis. So this is the first signs of psychosis, which is any kind of sort of on the lines of schizophrenia. If you have the feeling or you're suspicious that actually somebody's presenting with psychosis, somebody's presenting with delusions, they would be assessed by the early intervention team. If it's another serious mental health illness, you'll be referred to the assessment team. From the assessment team, you could go to the locality teams, which will mean that you need long-term intervention. That doesn't mean that because you've come to the mental health services that you have to stay with mental health services. I know that there's a massive stigma about staying with mental health services. We do follow a recovery model. So you can be discharged into primary care. So that primary care supports people who are then put on medication, and primary care is linked in with the GP as well. So that's sort of the cycle of the community mental health services that we have in SLAM for Croydon in particular. And these are the help tools that we have in Croydon. So this is self-referral. So you don't necessarily have to be with the mental health team, but these are things that you can, mental health support that you can get in the community without being open to a mental health service. So we have Croydon Talking Therapies, which is IAPT. You can self-refer to IAPT. We have the Sun Project, that's also self-referral, that manages people with emotional deregulation and personality disorders and people who suffer with self-harming and need support around that area. We have Change, Grow, Live, which is our CGL, which is our drug and alcohol service. That is self-referral as well. We have Recovery Space. We have Mind, We have Wellbeing Hub. So there's a Wellbeing Hub that it's been 6 months in the making now, and that's at the Whitgift Centre, and that's also self-referral as well. Anyone can walk in to sort of get support with their mental health.
Sorry, it's been up for 2 years. Sorry.
Is it 2 years now? Sorry, I'm new to the trust.
It's been up for 2 years. A lot of hard work's gone into that one.
Yeah.
I'll be covering that as well in my presentation.
Okay, awesome. Great. So that's been around as well for some time, where people can get support around their mental health. And there's also other supports that you can get around there in terms of employment support as well, which is really, really, really useful. We also have Oasis and Off the Record, and these are all sort of tools and support systems around mental health that we have in Croydon. And then via the actual mental health teams, we've got individual placement support teams, IPS, which is our employment support service. So in all the locality teams, which are CMHTs, we have an employment specialist based in every single team to help our service users to get back into work, or those who are in work but are struggling because they've got mental health issues, so they can receive support in how to sort of maintain their employment. It may be that they need adjustments in their jobs, and so they can get support with the employment specialist to ensure that actually their workplace is supporting them with their mental health and to help them continue with their roles and their jobs. The therapy, we also offer talking therapies as well. So the therapies we offer is CBT, DBT and SIPs. We have community opportunities, so we have reablement and engagement service as well, core. We have occupational therapy. We are an integrated service in Croydon, so we work along with the local authority as well. So we do support our service users with housing and social care. So accommodation and placements, we do support our service users with that. We also offer a family intervention service as well. So it may be that we have a patient who has issues, but we also support the families around understanding what those issues are and trying to see what therapy we can offer them as a family to support one another in the situation that they're in. So those are really what we offer in Croydon as a mental health service. It's not exhaustive, but this is the general crux of what we have to offer. So I hope that wasn't too quick, and if there's any questions, please fire away. Any questions, anyone?
Hello.
Hello? Yes, Jenny.
Oh, hello. Nice to meet you, Sarah. Hi. It said a recovery space was GP or self-referral. Is that our service at Mind? Oh, at Mind in Croydon. Oh, Jackie's got her hand up. Thank you. I'm sure she'll answer that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
No worries. Anyone else?
Sarah, I have got a question here coming up, but let Diane speak first, and then Sarah would like to say something.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah, for such a detailed presentation. It was very quick, and I was scribbling away.
Sorry, I'll put it back up for you to see, and I can share these along with everybody as well.
I was actually going to say, would it be possible, number one, to share slides? One of the things that really kind of caught my attention was the fact that there is so much that is done that is kind of not just within the sort of scope, if you like, of mental health, but it's kind of the social issues that spin off of having those mental health challenges.
Yeah.
And so just the first thing was that, can you share the slide, but you've agreed to do that, so that's really kind. But also so there's a couple of things that came up that really spoke to me, and the two things were accommodation and employment.
Yeah.
So we're an independent mental health service, and one of the two things that very, very, very regularly come up and actually sometimes hinder people from moving forward with their mental health is if they have these big issues going on with accommodation, quite often being in council accommodation and sort of struggling through that, but also employment. And obviously you've mentioned both of those things. So one of the things I'm wondering is, in the sense where we are we're a community organisation, but we're very much independent. If we have clients that are struggling with these issues, you mentioned about self-referral. Can we tap into that, or would the individuals have to be using some form of mental health support to be able to tap into something that would support them with accommodation or would support them in employment, for example?
So with the employment, that can they don't have to be with the community mental health team. They can also access that through the Wellbeing Hub as well. So they don't necessarily have to be open to a community mental health team. In terms of their housing, they would need to be under the community mental health team for us to liaise with the housing in terms of a placement.
Right. Okay.
So if they need supported accommodation, that would be because of them, because they're not able to manage on their own. So they would need a Care Act assessment. So they would need assessing, because then we would need to go to panel to ask for funding for a placement, because the placement would be supporting them with specific needs. It may be supporting them with their medication, or helping them to stay safe, or giving them some routine and some structure, helping them with budgeting. They would be, and we're obviously that comes at a cost. So we would need to evidence why they need this placement. So they would need to be under a CMHT. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It does make sense. But it kind of also brings up further questions. I mean, as I say, if I could give you a very, very brief snapshot of the situation we had very recently, we had a lady who was so physically was living with MS, and so that had an impact obviously on her mobility and how she could access things within her property. But she was also struggling obviously with her mental health, which is why she was with us. But the issues with the accommodation were kind of driving sort of suicidal kind of ideations, and even on 2 occasions behaviours. Would it therefore make sense, because we don't have any sway with anything when we're talking to sort of council, would it therefore be more appropriate for someone like that to be seen under your community health team? Or
so maybe it would be that she would come on the assessment team, and they would assess what her needs are, and then support her with the housing.
Thank you. I mean, I think there's a lot of kind of offline conversation that maybe at some stage I can tap into you at some stage.
Anytime.
I think, bless you, and thank you very much for those responses.
No worries.
My question, hi, thanks for the presentation. My question was about waiting times from a GP referral into one of your teams. What is the present waiting time? And the other comment was, it's really good to see all the help available in your slides, but when you send out the slides, would you be able to add some links as well to maybe the websites of these services, or maybe a telephone number, where people can actually call to refer people?
Yeah, sure, that's not a problem.
Thank you so much. But yes, I was wondering
so the waiting time is, so it depends on the severity of the situation. So if this is a real crisis and they need urgent intervention, they would be within 48 hours, it will be picked up, and then they would either go to home treatment team here or A&E. If it is if it's still urgent but they need to be seen by someone, then they would be seen by the assessment team, and the assessment team have 28 days. If this is early intervention and you're worried about psychosis, they are seen within 14 days. So within the 14-day period, they'll be seen, assessed, and accepted to the team. Okay. But I can send you links as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sarah, if you could send those to me, then
I will. I was going to
add
say
them
that I'll
on the
send them
slide.
directly to you.
I'll make some meeting notes. That would be brilliant. Paula, I see you've got your hand up. This will need to be brief if that's possible, because we've got another speaker coming on, and we're...
Yes, I will be really brief.
That's
I just wanted to know if there is any map of resources, so a map that where we can see all the resources.
Yeah, we've got a list of resource. When you say, yeah, we've got a list here, but I can give you this is the list here, but I can give you like the sort of emails and contacts that I can add to this.
Thank you so much. That's all. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Sarah. Excellent.
No worries.
Next, sorry, I'll let you just do that. Oh, no, she can do it. Andrew Harris. Andrew, I'm just making you co-host.
Thank you. Hi.
So that you can share your slides.
Yes, I'll do
Good
that
morning,
right now.
Andrew. Thank you.
Morning. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I'll just share that now. Just to check how long I've got. I don't want to overrun or take up other people's time.
That's fine. We've slipped 5 minutes, but I think that's fine, as long as we're mindful of that, because otherwise that means people at the end will be rushed.
Of course, yeah. Well, I'll keep it brief. Thank you. So hi, everyone. Yeah, my name's Andrew Harris. I'm a senior clinical team lead at Croydon NHS Talking Therapies, which some of you may know as the IAPT service in Croydon. Just as a quick pointer, we'll be dropping the IAPT tag from next year. So all talking therapy services across the country will no longer be known as IAPT services. The IAPT, IAPT name has sort of lost its meaning, and we're all going to be sort of standardized as NHS Talking Therapy Services. So we are currently rebranding so that everyone's aware of that. Let me just share this in full screen, so hopefully you can see it. So yeah, what I wanted to briefly cover today was who we are and what we do, and who we can help and what support we offer and how people can access the service. So starting off with who we are, for anyone that doesn't know us, we are a talking therapy service that sit in primary care as part of the SLAM NHS Trust in Croydon. So in terms of what that means, we sit alongside GPs and other primary care professionals to deliver accessible talking therapies to anyone in the borough with a common mental health problem, which I'll explain a bit more in a moment. That's opposed to the secondary care teams that you've just been told about, like the locality teams and assessment liaison teams. So we're one step below them on the step care model. We've got quite a large and growing team of different professionals that I've listed there. And just to note that we also have an employment support arm to our team as well. So it's not just therapy that we provide, but we also offer some employment support via our partners Workwell Croydon. And we're based at different sites across the borough, mainly at the Bethlehem Royal Hospital and a central office in Croydon, just off the High Street. But we do operate out of GP surgeries where we can as well, and we're looking to expand that to see if we can get up to the presence that we had pre-COVID. So as I mentioned, we're here to help people with common mental health problems. So as you may have just been told by the team in secondary care, that they're looking to support people with more severe and enduring difficulties that perhaps need more of a psychiatric approach, whereas we're working from a psychological perspective to support people with depression, generalized anxiety, panic, and agoraphobia, different types of anxiety like health anxiety, social anxiety, OCD, post-traumatic stress disorder, phobias, and cases of mild insomnia as well. We also work with people that have long-term physical health conditions like diabetes and COPD to help them manage their distress associated to having those conditions, which hopefully means that they're better equipped to manage their conditions in turn. We also have some specific pathways to try and reflect the needs of the borough. So we do have specific support for asylum seekers, and we work with people from the age of 17 and over. So we don't have any upper age limit. And we're eligible for people who live in the borough and have a Croydon GP. That recently changed. It used to be just those people with a Croydon GP, but it has been expanded to people who also live in the borough and don't have a GP, to promote the idea of patient choice when it comes to which talking therapy services they want to get support from. How do we do what we do? Well, in a number of ways, we deliver support through groups. We have online support through a program called Silver Cloud, which people can directly access from our website. And then we work with people on a one-to-one basis in a number of different ways. So we offer support mainly based on cognitive behavioral therapy, but we also have different branches of therapies relating to CBT, which I've listed there. We also have some counselling provided by our partner organisation, Care to Listen. And as I've said, we have the employment support arm of our service as well. We're working face-to-face via phone and video calls, so we have choices there. It is still largely via phone and video call. We haven't gone quite back to the same provision of face-to-face appointments that we had before COVID, and that's simply because of the space restrictions, but we do still offer it where we can. And whilst we work mainly in working hours, we do try and provide some sessions in the early morning, so from 8 o'clock and also up until 7:30 in the evening.
Andrew, can I just say that we're not, if you're moving the slides, we're not seeing them. We're still on them first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't.
All right.
I don't know what's happening there. Then it must have frozen. Let me see if I can. What are you seeing now?
No, we're seeing black.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, we've got 5. Your slide 5. What we do.
Oh right. So okay. So I've just been through that. Yeah. Okay. So apologies for what you haven't seen so far. Will these slides be circulated to everyone attending?
They will. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got them. So yes.
Okay. I'll try again with the full screen mode and just let me know. I'll let you know once I've moved it on. If you can let me know if it hasn't moved on, then I'll see if I can. So I've just moved it on to a slide that is titled, "What does therapy look like?" Are you seeing that?
No, we're still on slide 5.
That's really odd.
Could be because the screen that you're sharing is actually the other one, not the PowerPoint that we have in front of us.
Just don't go full screen. Don't worry, Andrew.
Yeah. So you're seeing, if I do it this way, you can see that, can you?
Yeah. What does our therapy look like?
Okay. Let's do it this way then, so that I'll just make that a bit bigger for you. So yes, as I said, what does our therapy look like? So it is time limited. So it's important to recognise that this is where we differ from psychology services in secondary care. Whilst they are also time limited in their offering, we are on a much shorter term basis. So we're talking about 6 to 12 sessions of support rather than anything longer than that. And so essentially what we're trying to do is work on quite a focused support on sort of one problem area. And it does need the people coming to us and engaging with the therapy to be quite proactive and motivated and ready to engage and look to make changes in order to really benefit from the therapy that can be offered in that time. And we do emphasize that most of what we do is a talking therapy, but it's also a doing therapy, so that there is a significant degree of making change in between the sessions. It's not just a case of coming to the session, talking things through, going away, and then coming back the next week and doing the same thing. It's quite an intensive therapy at times, which is different to counselling and other traditional forms of therapy. Yeah, it's mainly present focus. So whilst we can briefly check in with the past and the links between the past and the present, we're looking to really try and change things for somebody in the here and now. We don't work with people age 16 or younger, so 17 is our lowest age limit. If you're thinking about supporting or the support needs of anybody younger than 17, then really it should be kind of CAMS, the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, to be considered. We don't work directly with drugs and alcohol and substance misuse. We would look at our partners at CGL for supporting that directly. We don't support people with active risk associated to suicidal thoughts or risk to other people. And again, we would be thinking about the assessment liaison team, who I think you've heard about already this morning, or getting people into to see the team at A&E if the need is very urgent. And as I've mentioned, we don't work with people whose difficulties are severe and enduring, such as complex PTSD or schizophrenia or bipolar disorder, etc. We try and make it as easy to access as possible. So we have an online referral form that can be completed fairly easily and quickly, and we're quite easily Googleable. And people can refer by phone. It takes a bit longer, so we do promote the self-referral form online, but obviously some people we know may not have accessibility to that. And we take referrals from GPs and other professionals, such as our partners in secondary care, if that's suitable. When people refer, we may be able to get them booked in for the first appointment really quickly. And they can do that quite easily through an online booking link, which gives people lots of choice as to upcoming appointments. So they don't actually need to speak to us necessarily. They can do it all through a portal online. It might take a bit longer if we have some information to kind of work through in the referral. We might need to spend a little bit of time just working out, are we going to be in the best position to take this forward with this person, and if not, we will consider alternative options, as we might do after the first initial phone triage appointment, which is only a brief call, not a full assessment, to try and establish what the main problem is and think about the options. And we do signpost or refer people onwards in about 30% of cases. So about 1 in 3 people will come to us, and we'll look at alternative support for. But we'll give people as much information as possible to be able to do that. We will give people and sometimes we can actually make the referral ourselves, which is obviously a lot easier. But if we are offering treatment, then we would book somebody into their next appointment straight away, which may be within a couple of weeks, or we'll add them to a waiting list if it's for one of our therapy options where there is a wait at the moment. Yeah, and as I said, I've kept it brief, so I just wanted to invite any questions or any kind of thoughts or feedback based on what I've covered this morning.
Okay, if anyone does think of any questions, do put it in the chat, and I can direct them to Andrew in the meeting notes. So we now have Diane, Centre of Change.
Good morning. Thank you very much for your time. I'll just say, first of all, I'm on a mobile at the moment, left my laptop indoors, unfortunately. So I have sent some presentation slides onto CVA. But unfortunately, I don't have anything to share in terms of just speaking this morning. So I'll just give you a little overview just briefly in terms of who we are. So obviously, as Jamie said, we are Centre of Change, Counselling and Mentoring Service. So I'll give you a small background about Centre of Change. We are completely independent as an organisation, but we are a community organisation. We are registered as a charity, and so obviously we're a non-profit, although we are independent. The organisation was established in 2008, so it has been running for 15 years. It's not a sort of just a new up-and-coming organisation. We've been in and around the New Addington area for 15 years. The organisation was actually set up by a New Addington resident who has to date lived in New Addington for well over 50 years, so very, very aware of her community, a lady called Sarah Kiffin. And She is our director and obviously founder, and her background is as a psychotherapist, and is actually training in clinical psychology at the moment. The organisation, as much as we provide counselling and mentoring, but we're also a placement provider for trainee counsellors. So we're made up of our team is made up of qualified counsellors and psychotherapists, and also psychotherapists in training at various levels of training. We work very closely with people like Metanoia, Roehampton, Lambeth College, etc. We take trainees in on 12-month placements. So in terms of in terms of kind of what we do, as I said before, we are community-based counselling and mentoring. One of the things that we were initially set up as an organisation for young people. So even to date, our starting age in the community is 10-year-olds. But again, as Andrew was saying, with no sort of outer limit age, we see adults of all ages. There's no sort of age limit on that. We also have some work in schools. I don't believe we're working in schools at the moment, but we usually work within schools within the New Addington and or Croydon area, and at that point we will work with sort of 5 upwards, so we work with school children. But in the community, our starting age is 10 years old, and the younger service users, they're eligible for either counselling or mentoring. One of the things we try to do is be very, very family orientated. So for example, we may have clients who are coming in, sort of adult clients who are coming in for counselling, and younger, sort of the 10 to 19-year-olds potentially using the mentoring service that we offer. We are a paid service, but we like to see ourselves as affordable. We do have a standard fee of £40 at the moment, but we do also see as a organisation that is non-profit, that is charity, we do have the ability to offer some counselling free of charge. Sorry, I'm going through my own presentation on my screen. One of the things that makes us so different, so we are the only Black female-led organisation in the entire Croydon borough. And that's not to say that we have quite a unique sort of makeup. One of the things that we've also seen across the years, and that's potentially for what people have taken from us when they look at our website and such, is that we also tend to attract a lot of B&B therapists. So, at the height of our diversity, we have had Black African, Black Caribbean, Black others. We have had Asian, South and East Asian, European. So we have a very broad, diverse range of therapists available. And one of the things why that's really, really super important is because people from the BME community often have difficulties accessing statutory services. They also are known to have more barriers to accessing, so it might be issues within their communities where mental health is actually seen as quite a taboo. So we are very, very culturally competent, both in the sense of just who we are in terms of how the team is made up, but we also do make sure one of the things we do consistently year on year when we have trainees coming in is that one of the big things that we always push is the cultural competence, because we have people coming from all areas and we want them to be comfortable, we want them to be feel accepted, and we want them to feel validated. We have some shorter programs. But our shortest program is 12 weeks, but we go up to 24 weeks, and we do also have the longer term open-ended therapies on offer. We have a range of different sort of issues that we deal with. So from the sort of real generalized mental health, like depression, anxiety, bereavement. But we also deal with clients very frequently who are presenting with psychosis, presenting with bipolar, and many who come with complex trauma. One of the we work closely with statutory in a strange sense, in the sense that our referral routes most often come from statutory. So obviously you don't have figures for 23, but 2022, 25% of our clients coming from the NHS, so that's through Royal Bethlehem, that's directly through social prescribing links, and over 50% coming from the local authority. And with regards to the local authority, we work most closely with early help, so they will send us through the young people and or their parents. We do family therapy at the moment, and also the FJC, so the Family Justice Centre, they send through a lot of our referrals from the local authority. So we do have, we are known to work quite frequently with those who have been through domestic violence, domestic abuse. They're usually around about 36, I think it was last year, about 36% of our referrals were coming with domestic abuse or domestic violence as a main sort of presenting issue there. So we work closely with many of the New Addington and Croydon organisations, and just to say lastly, because I'm just very aware of time, recent successes for us, we're dealing with around about 300 unique clients every year, as I say, mainly referred from local authority or from the NHS. We generally have around about 20-25 trainees coming through our doors each year. 67% of our clients coming through were from BME backgrounds last year. And lastly, I've put as a recent success that we've recently become the EMHIP hub for New Addington, and that's just one of 6 in the borough, in the sense that we're known very much for our links and work with people from the BME communities. Okay, and again, I'll send my presentation through, but open to any questions from anyone, please.
There's a
Oh,
sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, hi, Diane. Can you hear me?
I can. Hello.
Oh, hello. Thank you very much for your presentation. I'd just like to know, is your service for the residents of New Addington only?
No, so we have, we are a Croydon-wide borough, and we do aim to have, we've said 50% of our clients from the New Addington area, because obviously it is hyper local, but as long as, you know, we take from the surrounding areas as well. So we have quite high levels coming from the Thornton Heath area, for example, and that's, you know, obviously the furthest to the north. We also have a small 20% kind of sort of leeway for people outside of Croydon. So we do work with people coming in from Lambeth, people coming in from Sutton, Merton, etc. So it's Croydon borough wide.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And one more question, if I may. Is your service BACP registered?
Absolutely, yes.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Excellent. Are there any more questions? Right. Thank you, Diane. We're back on time. Zlatinka, I'll make you co-host. Just a moment. There you go. Okay, over to you, Zlatinka. Can you hear Zlatinka? Yeah.
Sorry, I just shared the screen with, I was sharing. Can you see the presentation?
Not yet.
Yes.
No.
No.
Are you able to share my presentation from your end?
Yes, just one moment. Just chat amongst yourselves for a moment.
Okay. So I'm just going to introduce myself while we're waiting for the presentation to come up. My name is Lutinka Christova. I'm Director of Studio Upstairs, which is a charity. It's a long-established charity, over 35 years of history, and it has 3 branches, one in Dalston, one in Bristol, and since 2016, we have a branch in Croydon. We are located on the High Street, just above Food Asylum, the shop. At Studio Upstairs, we believe that everyone can transform their life through creative community. We believe in the power of artistic practice to create meaning and purpose in life. We focus on the possibilities, not on the limitations of the illness. So why we are different? As a charity, maybe we need to stop the slideshow because it's going through the slides back on. We can stay on slide 2 for a bit. Thank you. Thank you. So the services for adults who are interested in the creative arts, they'll be living with a range of mental health conditions and on their recovery journey. We work with complex and enduring conditions as well, including personality disorders. We usually work with people who have been through a mental health crisis, and as I mentioned, the full spectrum of conditions, including dual diagnosis and additional factors such as physical or learning difficulties. So the group, which will be small, is inclusive and non-diagnosis specific. Our way of working is characterized by art education and social support coming together in one integrated package to create a creative therapeutic community. This image is from our Bristol studio. The model is unique because while influenced by both art education and psychotherapy, art therapy, in practice it challenges both. The traditional relationship of student-teacher or therapist-client, that's what is really challenged, to be more egalitarian in that respect. We also work on a medium and long-term basis according to the needs of the members of the group. Next slide, please. Image here from our Dalston studio, a bit smaller. And what is actually the service on offer here? We are offering a therapeutic art studio group in this established Studio Upstairs model. That group is facilitated by 2 studio managers per group. I think we lost our slide. We'll go back on slide 3, please. And we also organize forums, outings, events, and exhibitions. We regularly have individual reviews of set goals, reviews of artwork, and lots of opportunities for volunteering, exhibiting, and learning skills in this area. We provide our materials, specialist equipment, and training how to use it. In Croydon, we run 2 days a week and 6 hours a day. That's between 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Additionally, we run workshops and online groups on the other days of the week. During and post-COVID, we have offered the online groups. but those were mainly for merchant residents, and even though there were few joining from Croydon. Next slide, please. So this is the Croydon, what this Croydon studio looks like. We work across all Croydon, unless there is a specific locality project, and usually use exhibitions to create further awareness of our work and to weaken the stigma around ill mental health. Here on the next slide, please, we will see some examples of artwork from our members. And I will quote a feedback from one of the group members. Studio Upstairs actually gave me back my life, some ambition to do something, which is something that has been absent for a very long time. This studio has opened up a new horizon, and that horizon is very wide. I think there is a huge amount to explore. I would share the slides with you. Next slide, please. I would share the slides with you, and also if you would like information sheet with bullet points and all this information that I'm now talking about. This is another example of one of our members. There is a cost to the service, but we also offer subsidized places and 50% subsidy, however limited, as and when we get grants. And we also offer free places. For example, hopefully over the next year, we will be offering free places through One Croydon for Central West catchment area, which will be for older people. Next slide, please. This is when somebody is more advanced in their art making, and we will promote their work online. So that is a kind of more of a professional approach that people can sell their artwork and gain some skills and preparing for exhibitions and promoting and generally generating some income from their art making. Next slide, please. This is an image from a project for South Croydon Station, which if you have passed through the station, you would see some images all over the station, on the platforms and in the waiting rooms. And here some of our members are celebrating that achievement. I was just post-COVID. So why would somebody join Studio Upstairs? As information for potential members, first of all, to create and learn. And secondly, to find meaning and to grow. And of course, to improve their well-being and mental health, to share and to belong to a group, especially for those groups that run medium and long term. That's quite an important factor for maintaining one's well-being and mental health. And then they can contribute. People can contribute. As I mentioned, volunteer roles. People take responsibilities in the studio, and for these projects, what they say, Studio Upstairs helps me to express myself creatively and provide me with a welcoming and supportive community. How people can be, next slide, that's the last slide really. How can people join? They can be referred by completing the referral form online, or just inquire via email or phone. Just email us or visit our website, and there will be an initial meeting assessment to cover both paperwork and any fees. And then we also offer a free trial session. We have, as I said, information sheet, so please request that from the South London studio, and we can move forward with the referrals. It doesn't have to be a referral, it could be a self-referral as well. Thank you for watching the presentation. That was the last slide. Do you have any questions?
Yes, Zlatinka, can you tell us, you mentioned there was a cost. Can you tell what the costs are?
I did actually write this down on the presentation. The cost to the studio to attend is about £13 an hour. So if somebody attends through their care plan to NHS, that would be £78 a day. If it's on a PIP, there will be under standard level, that will be lower, and subsidised places will be, well, currently they are £31 a day. And again, there will be free places depending on the project grants.
Thank you. Paula, you wanted to say something?
Yes, first thank you for the presentation, and I would like to ask you about the workshops. I was in your website and I cannot see any coming up, so I would like to know how often they come up, and actually how you send this information. Is through the website, is getting a membership, or how does it work?
Usually we keep, when somebody inquires either about workshops or membership, we take their details and then email them back, but we promote those through social media and through the website as well. Currently, or recently, we had a workshop which was run by an artist in a park, but that's past now. We hope to run more workshops in the future in the next year, and they will be publicized on the website.
Thank you.
Right. Any more questions? Thank you, Zlatinka. We next on the agenda we have Jerome from EMHIP. Right, you'll now go co-host Jerome. Are you there, Jerome? Right, I'll move on to the next person. Oh, no, Jerome's arrived.
Hi, sorry,
I'm just handing you over.
With the camera stuff.
No, that's fine. We can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me now. Wicked.
Yeah.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Jerome. I'm a support worker from the EMHIP project, which is Ethnicity, Mental Health and Improvement Program. We work out of different hub locations, the Wellness Centre, Centre of Change with Diane. We're doing schoolwork as well. So we have our youth workers go to Norbury Manor and Old Palace, offering support there for the students and their teachers. We also attend New Testament Church as well, where we do help with the Croydon kitchen, which is just giving out food packages and parcels to the homeless, as well as taking part in the seniors club at the moment. I'm just supporting them as well. And we will be starting Holy Innocents in the next coming weeks as well. So we'll have a hub there as well. Basically, what we do is just offer sort of that initial support before linking people into services if necessary. So for example, as you know, waiting list for mental health services is quite long. So in that space of time, we offer that support, that whether that be sort of mentoring, advice, just general mental health needs. And also we get a lot of clients that come to us for housing issues as well, or just general chit chat, just someone to talk to. In the meantime, I see a question there, what age of services? Well, we have youth workers and adult support workers. So our youth workers would work with sort of teens upwards. And then the adult support workers, obviously we work with any age, really, to be fair. So there's two parts of the service.
Are there any questions for Jerome? Whereabouts are you based, Jerome? I know you use the hubs. Have you got a
Yeah, we have different places. I mean, mostly we would, well, we're both all over the place, but I think like majority of time we can be found in the Wellness Centre, which is in the Whitgift in Croydon. We're on the second floor there, but we're mostly in hub locations. But you can find us in the Wellness Centre, or some members of the team will be at the Wellness Centre.
So do you have a
wellness team?
Sorry.
Sorry, I missed that. Sorry.
Sorry, Jenny, you were saying something.
Oh, hello. Yes. What is the abbreviation again of EMHIP, please?
Oh, if ethnicity and mental health improvement program. The idea was
mental health
sorry.
improvement. Thank you.
Program.
I'm just writing that down.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I think the idea behind it was they've done sort of research and studies around the Croydon area, just in terms of deprivation and places that were in need, and it was discovered that sort of obviously ethnic minorities weren't accessing mental health accessing mental health services, and they wanted to sort of understand why that was and sort of the demographics behind that. So although we're aimed at sort of trying to improve the way the stigma of mental health is around ethnic minorities, we work with everybody, to be honest with you. Like we don't turn anyone away. We work with every and anybody, to be honest with you. But that was the idea behind it.
Thank you.
No problem.
So Jerome, am I right in saying you're part of the or work in partnership with the BME Forum? Can you just clarify?
Yeah, we're part of the Croydon BME Forum. Yeah, that's correct.
Right. And do you have a timetable, all these hubs that you mentioned and where they are? Is it somewhere people can just do a drop-in and turn up?
Yeah, they're drop-in services. People can either drop in or if they know we're going to be somewhere local to them, they can sort of make an appointment. Like, for example, some of our regular clients, if they're in an area that's near one of our hubs, they can just drop in. But it's open to anybody to just drop in if they just feel like they need that support.
So where would we find the timetable?
1 second, let me see if
well,
I
it's
can
fine. If you
that.
perhaps you could send that to me, Jerome, and then I'll add it to the notes, and we'll also
yeah, no problem.
Put it on Simply Connect so people can
find
out where you are, and you can update us when you add new sessions and times.
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll send it over to you then in the email then, and then you can distribute that. That's fine. Thank you.
Oh, I think there's a question in the chat.
A question?
There is a question in the chat from Sadi. Says, do you work in partnership with clients' families?
At the Wellness Centre, there is a lady who works with families. She's not part of the EMHIP team, but she's part of the Croydon BME service. So there is a family service at the Wellness Centre.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem.
Oh, Diane, you got your hand up?
I have, yeah, just in terms of the timetabling. So we're very pleased to be one of the EMHIP hub locations. So we do have some of the EMHIP team in on a Monday, and I think hours at the moment are 11 till 3 o'clock on the Monday, and that is for just a drop-in service. So anybody who you know, just generally sort of speaking, in terms of any kind of issues that might be sort of they might just want someone to speak to, might be sort of, I don't know, sort of loneliness, isolation, etc. They can drop in 11 till 3, and HIP team are there, and they'll also be supporting us. I don't think it's off the ground, Jerome, yet, is it? Until the new year. But we will be running again. MHIP will be running through the Centre of Change hub. Will be running workshops for to support women who have been going through domestic violence and domestic abuse. So that again is kind of early afternoon. So I think, is it 12:30? I think it is till 3:30 or 4 o'clock.
Yeah, 12:30 till 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Diane, can I ask a question? Sorry, on the back of this. you were talking about women experiencing domestic abuse. Would you consider supporting also women who are experiencing stalking?
I mean, as an organisation, we're open to anyone. So obviously we're very separate from EMHIP, but we're working in partnership with them at the moment. So in terms of people who are struggling with any kind of stress or mental distress from, you know, brought on by stalking, we will, you know, see anyone, we'll assess them and understand what the level of distress is. In terms of the violence against women, the sort of in terms of the EMHIP offering, again, that is, you know, sort of very much in that same sort of, so, you know, somebody in that sort of situation would be very, very welcome indeed.
Okay, great, fantastic. I might refer a client to you.
Right, thank you for that, Jerome.
No problem.
Next on the agenda, we've got Celestina from Floating Counselling. Sorry, I'm just. Are you going to share any slides?
Yeah, I think I do have a slide.
Just make you co-host. There you go.
Okay, yeah, I can see it now. Thank you. Make sure I'm opening the right thing. Can you see that?
Not yet. We have a black screen. Yeah. Yes, we see it.
Awesome. So hi, I'm lead psychotherapist at Floating Counselling, and just a snapshot of what we do at Floating Counselling. Counselling is what we started as a few years ago. So we do one-to-one counselling, family, couples, relationship, as well as group. We also have a Facebook group, which is a closed group for some of the clients or people who just need support. So in that Facebook group, obviously it's a Facebook group, so it's free for anyone to join if they need help. Most of the people we do have in that group, there's probably about 300 people. They're mostly parents. So one of the main things that we do support is parents and young people in regards to just helping parents from a more loving, is what we call it, more a loving place, so they can heal from their own personal trauma, so they can parent from a more healed experience when raising their children. So that group is mostly for parents, but other people who are single are in there to get support. So in that group, we have a life coach, we have 2 fully qualified therapists. We also have a relationship therapist who monitors the group and supports people in that group. So if you guys do want to link to that, I can always share that, and you can circulate it if people do want to join in the community. As I mentioned, we have a relationship coach who supports families if they're having conflict. It can also be a one-to-one, it can also be a couple. So that is not therapy, it is a relationship coaching that they would go through. And that also has its own separate Facebook group. And that is for couples, because it's for relationship. We also do food bank every Thursday at 4 to 5 o'clock at Woodside Memorial. Again, that's a flyer that I can share. And all this information is on our website as well. So that is floatingcounselling.co.uk/events. So there's a lot of events that we do or things that we're doing that will be on that page. We run a holiday school, Easter, summer, and Christmas. And one of the main things that we do try to do is we do want the young people to have fun. Obviously, it's their holiday. We want them to have fun. But we also think there's things that schools are not necessarily teaching that we would like to give to these children whilst they are with us. And that is emotional intelligence, helping them regulate their emotion, helping them know how to self-soothe. We all feel angry, we all feel upset, we all feel annoyed at things. That's just normal emotion that every human will feel. However, sometimes when children are feeling this, they feel like they need to suppress it, or they're told that you're not allowed to be angry. You can be angry. Parents get angry, adults get angry, we all get angry. But it's what you do with these emotions. It's how do you regulate it? How do you self-soothe when you want to scream and break things? But society doesn't allow you to do that. But that's what it feels like inside you. How do you regulate this? How do you deal with this? Is one of the things we'd like to teach young people during our holiday school, as well as soft skills. There's just so much things that life teaches us, but it doesn't always teach us soft skills. And one of the ways that I explain it to young people is, we're all born with certain things in our brain, but if we are not taught and if we don't see it, then that part of the brain just stays dormant. And some of that is the soft skills, and some of that is empathy. Like, we're all born to be able to have empathy, but if you're not raised with empathetic parents or empathetic society, that part of your brain just does not develop in the way that it needs to. So some of these things are things that we teach young people, as well as financial literacy. Because at the end of the day, when we look at why young people, maybe some, not all, are joining gangs, it is mostly about they want to feel included in something. They want to feel part of a family, but also the money that these gangs potentially can give them, or at least they think can give them. So if we can potentially start raising young people who we can start looking at their skills and be like, what are you actually good at? And how can you make money from this without hurting other people, stealing, or whatever it is? That is one of the things we do. So we get experts to come in and really look at what these young people are good at, whether they like to draw, whether they like to play games, whatever it is that they actually naturally like to do and they enjoy doing, how can they financially make money from it? And sometimes it's not just about what you make money from, it's how do you grow money? Money don't grow on trees, but you know what, there's other ways like investing that we teach young people about investment. We teach them about stock market, we teach them about property investing. So there's just a lot of things that we try to pack into. Usually we try to pack a lot into the 4 weeks, but we try our best with the 1 week that we do get with them during Easter and Christmas. So again, all these details is on our website. The council has changed how parents do register for the holiday school now. So they would need to get a code from their school for them to register. So again, if you need more details, do feel free to reach out to us. I've put my Instagram at the bottom, so feel free to reach out that way, or our email address, which is info@floatingcounselling.co.uk, or just go on our website and the details will be there. Our email address and everything will be there as well. And finally, we are also running a Crescent project. So I'm one of the co-chairs of one of the 6 localities in Croydon, and Floating Counselling has been able to get the funding to be able to support the community in this area. And we've been able to, I'm just going to go to the next page. We've been able to support in different ways, depending on what the community said they wanted. I think my page is, oh, there we are. So this is just a snapshot of some of it. So the hub, so these are some of the projects that we're going to be running. On Tuesday, there is an elderly every week, 10 to 12:30. So that is a pop-in. The elderly can come in, they can have a chat with our with NHS link worker. They can get to know the community, they can get their blood pressure checked. There's a lot that goes on. Every now and then as well, they get a professional to come in and do some singing with them, some activities. So it's always fun. It's oversubscribed at the moment. We have about 50 elderly people who turn up on a weekly basis. So it's super oversubscribed. But you know what? If you still do want to tell people about it, feel free to. So that is Woodside Pop-In, and that is run by Linda, who is a link worker with the NHS. And straight after that, we have the Woodside Community Pop-In, Woodside Community Hub, which is going to be going on for the next year. 1:30 to 3:30. Again, we have different expertise and different professionals who are coming in on a regular basis. All these details is on our website as well. Every Wednesday, we have a project which is Man Dem Medley, which is a male-only environment where they get to talk, they express themselves, and that is every evening, 8:30 to 10 p.m. And again, this will be going on for the next year. The food bank, which I briefly mentioned, is on Thursday, 4 to 5 o'clock at Woodside Memorial Park. And there is also another event that the elderly have also put together by Sylvia. And that is going to be once a month. So the elderly can come, 55 plus, they can come, eat at the cafe for free. The first 30 people is completely free. get to know the resident, get to know, have an expert, speak to people, and just get out the house. Another thing we've also tried to put in place is transportation, because I know that a lot of people, because of the time zone that we are doing these events, they are maybe going to be elderlies that are going to be coming, or parents with young children, or people who are vulnerable or disabled in one way or the other. So potentially getting to appointments or getting to these events is something that we are aware that can be sometimes tricky or uncomfortable. So one of the things we have started to think about is potentially getting them for transportation. So maybe a minibus or something to be able to get the elderly to be able to get to these events, to socialize, because loneliness is a massive thing. And that's one of the things we're also trying to prevent with a lot of the project we do. The food bank as well, we do deliver. If they do contact us and they do let us know why they're vulnerable and they can't physically come to get the food, we do deliver to them. So that is the snapshot of what we do at Floating Counselling. And these is some of the professionals that are going to be there, the week by week, different professionals are going to be there: NHS, mental health, internet inclusion. We also have housing that's going to be there. We have DWP that's going to be there. Croydon Healthy Homes is going to be there. We also have sexual health clinic that is going to be there on a weekly basis. And we are having more and more professionals turning up to our hub on a weekly basis. So it would be great if you guys could circulate, let residents know this service is there for them. Every single one of our service is free. The only one that is not free, depending what their income is the counselling as well as the relationship coach. But even with that, we have the free Facebook groups that, you know, they can get support, they can contact us and get free support if that is something that is needed. And that is me. If you guys have any questions.
Celestina, that's amazing. There's such a lot there. Will you please make sure that we have the flyers and your presentation so that I can share that with all the group, because I don't have that. That would be really helpful. So if you could send that as soon as you're offline, that would be great. There was a message in the chat saying, are you BACP accredited?
Yes, we are.
Excellent. Are there any other questions for Celestina?
I have a question, Celestina. What I notice is that obviously kind of moving on from supporting people around simply counselling to really looking at the reasons why, you know, mental health has deteriorated and kind of preventing that as well. So there is a lot of prevention in your work, which is fantastic. I was just curious to know from your perspective, what are the issues that most people are struggling with these days? I mean, we have heard about accommodation being, you know, a big one, of course. And but which are the issues you think that people are mostly struggling with at this moment in time?
I think is finances. Housing is definitely a massive one, which is why we've once a month we do have a housing officer who's going to be there at the hub. So housing is massive. But then even with housing, that again is kind of hand in hand with just the financial difficulties that people are in at the moment. Gas and electricity. Actually, I didn't even mention that. As well as healthy homes coming into the hub to support us, we also have an electric engineer who would actually be assessing people's homes and potentially giving them advice on what they're doing that might be maybe costing them a bit too much. So he would go in their home, it will assess, maybe it's the light bulb, maybe it's this that they're doing, maybe it's that they're doing that is potentially making their bills a bit too high. So that's another thing that is also part of the hub that we've put together. But cost of living, housing is a massive thing, as well as conflict in relationships. Co-parenting is another big one. But then again, when financial things are in place and people are financially more secure, even those relationships seems a bit more settled. So I think housing and financial cost and cost of living is a massive thing for a lot of people at the moment.
Thank you, Celestina.
Welcome.
Okay, any more questions? Then may we move on? Naeem, I hope you don't mind. Amanda is going to have to stand in because Ben is unable to do a presentation. Are you there, Amanda? Okay, Amanda? Okay, I'll.
I'm here, but I think you've got the wrong person. I think you've got the wrong person. I'm not due to do a presentation.
No, it's not. I'm looking for Amanda from Good Food Matters.
Okay, I'm
Okay,
a different
no, that's
Amanda.
fine. I was just doubly checked. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, then we'll move on. Naeem, you're first on sharing a service update, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, sure. Let me see if I can quickly share the flyer. I don't have a presentation,
One moment,
but
I need to give you co-host.
sure.
Yep, there you go.
Oh, there you go.
Brilliant.
Right. So, hi everyone. I'm Naeem. I work for Resource Centre Croydon as an IT and a project coordinator. So we have a project called mental health project called Here to Talk, and I'm just going to quickly go over the services that's on it. So we've got free counselling up to 8 sessions. We also have trained mental health champions. We can do befriending call to manage your mental health. And we got awareness course, and we got mental health first aid course. We do run them on monthly basis, or so you have to look out for them on our website for the course. So what I'll do, I will post the flyer in the chat and my details. If you have any question, just let me know. So that's a short one, but I hope that's everything.
No, thank you, Naeem. I've got that, so I'll add that to our meeting notes as well, so that everyone has access to that.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right. So I've then got, moving down, if Amanda's not there, Mind in Croydon. Oh, do we have anyone for the health and wellness space service manager? Jackie. Thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, I will sit in for Dora, amongst
you.
others. So, and I know Russ is also here. So the health and wellbeing space is a service that we've got in the Whitgift Centre. So it is next door to Olin and Barrett, upstairs on the 2nd floor. And what the health and wellbeing space is, it's an area, it's a service where people can actually walk in. So it's like a shop front. You can literally just walk in and you're able to speak with a support worker, domestic violence worker. You could see a crisis support worker. Within the service, we've got housing, we've got DWPs, we've got welfare benefits people. So there's a range of different professionals within the space who, once you've walked in, you'll be able to access, depending on the needs of the individual, they'll be able to access a range of different services within this space. There's also a team of SLAM psychologists and a consultant psychologist who is always at the space. So where in the past someone would have to be referred and wait, especially for assessment and liaison, for instance, they might be able to just walk into Croydon Health and Wellbeing space, and they're sort of fast-tracked into several different mental health services, including the community mental health teams, depending if that's what their needs are. Now, within the wellbeing space, it's a short-term service. And so once the person is assessed and their needs determine what needs they need, what support they need, they might be signposted to other services across the borough. Not necessarily Mind in Croydon, could be any other services across the borough. Or they could work with a support worker or a base within the health and wellbeing space. Now, they do regular one-to-one sessions, support sessions. They're opened in the morning for drop-ins and they're closed in the afternoon so they can do their one-to-ones. They carry a caseload. And with the number of people that walks in 2000 and the last financial year, we had over 1,500 individuals literally walking into this space and asking for support. Of those, the majority wanted housing support, which is where we struggle. because of course, as we know with Croydon, that's one of our biggest areas where we're not able to get that immediate support for individuals. However, we do support them and we do try to find out why they're in housing crisis. We encourage people who are homeless on the streets. So we have someone from the homeless service, someone from crisis is based within. They're not always within the service, but we do have timetables to say who will be there on what dates. So people can just walk in, have a chat, meet a support worker, and have their needs met and supported with signposting or whatever else they might need. We do have a website, and it's called Croydon Health and Wellbeing Space. They're also under Mind in Croydon. The space is in partnership with Croydon BME. So we work very, very closely with the Wellness Centre. So we have the Croydon Health and Wellbeing Space on the second floor of the Whitgift Centre. And then around the corner, we have the BME Wellness Centre. And people do get them. We work very closely. We're in partnership with the Wellbeing Space. And so we might walk people to the appropriate service if they drop into the wrong building. They're also group work, but I'd leave the group work to when Russ comes to the recovery space presentation. So they do lots of different activities within the space, but mainly it is the one-to-one support that they give. And the fact that we have several team members, multidisciplinary teams who are in the space, whose service users can have immediate access to several professionals. They can signpost them or they can support them from the space. It is not a huge building. Like I said, it's a shop. So the actual environment is not massive, but we try to see as many people as we can within the spaces that we've got. We've got a small room where we do one-to-one support and meet people and see them in a confidential space. But overall, most of our support will have to be via appointments to make sure everyone is seen. So, and just to summarize, there's a domestic violence worker within the space. There's advice and information. We have the crisis workers. We have the consultant psychologist and his team of assistant psychologists within there. Representative from Department of Works and Pension. We've got a welfare benefits advice team that are based in the space, and they do a lot of the welfare benefits appeals. So when someone's turned down for their PIP or any other benefits, they can appeal those for them. Anyone can walk in. It's like a shop. You walk in and you ask for whatever you need in terms of mental health and support. And that's the wellness, the wellbeing space. We do have some flyers and stuff, which I will send through, and Kay can circulate those when the minutes go out.
That would be excellent, thank you.
That's fine. And that's the wellbeing space, if there's any questions.
Celestina, Jackie, it's me again. Just wanted to ask you a question about the same client I had in mind before. So this woman who's struggling mentally because of a stalking situation, could she get help from your wellness centre?
Well, yes, I think she could walk in, or she can be referred. I should also say any social care staff or anyone can refer someone, or they can just go on the website and see the telephone number and give us a ring. That individual could walk in and we would see what is the appropriate support for that person. We don't have a specific support worker that deals with stalking.
Yeah.
But we do also have a representative from the police and from other professionals that we can call in and find out the appropriate information.
Okay, thank you.
But yeah, please encourage them to either give us a call or to just walk in.
Thank you.
Right, do we have any questions for Jackie?
Sorry, well, I'm saving my voice because I know I've got to do another one, so that's fine.
Well, thank you very much. If I can have the flyers,
yes.
And you can send them as soon as possible, that goes for all of you, because I'm actually on annual leave next week, so I would like to get this out before that happens. That will be really helpful. Now we then next have, is Jo here, Jo Darville?
No, she's not. I'm representing Jo as well.
Shall we let Russell, so you can have a little rest, let Russell speak and then come back to you then, Jackie.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
No worries at all. Good afternoon, everyone. The recovery space, the One Croydon recovery space, was set up in 2020 to support people in crisis and to provide an alternative to emergency services. The Croydon recovery space works in a bespoke manner. How we work with people in crisis is because people in crisis, it's bespoke, it's personal to them. So what we do is through our targeted sessions, we're a short-term support service, and we work in our targeted sessions with clients. And in those sessions, we have psychological interventions, we do emotional support, we help them discover what their triggers may be. We also help them to start to learn coping strategies. Something else that we do at the Croydon recovery space is that we have some of our wellbeing groups. Now, that's something that we do in the evening and both in the day. So how the Croydon recovery space works is that we are a service that operates both in the day and in the evening. Initially, when it was set up, it was an evening service, but once the Croydon Health and Wellbeing space opened, which Jackie just discussed, we were able to have a day team in that building, and we were able to create a day service. So whereas before, the evening service was something that was only from our trusted assessors, and we do not have drop-ins. It's a referred service that we only have for trusted assessors, mainly being Croydon University Hospital, the psych liaison team, GPs, the home treatment team, community mental health team. We've also recently developed partnerships with Assessment and Liaison, IAPT, Off the Record, and we're looking to develop those partnerships with other agencies moving forward. Now, we don't take self-referrals, so we are not open to self-referrals, but what clients can do is if they drop into the Croydon Health and Wellbeing space, they can be assessed by the day team that is now in place there and has been in place for a year, and they can be referred into our service. If they're not in crisis, they can then be referred into the Croydon Health and Wellbeing space for more practical support or signposted elsewhere for services that may be required. Now, one thing that we do at the Croydon Health and Wellbeing space in our day team is we provide groups that are open to all clients. We have a women's health group that's coming up. We're currently in the process of running a men's health group. We've also been running a Connect and Cope group. A Connect and Cope group has been a group that we've run throughout this year, and it's been very successful because the things that it deals with is things that are very practical to people in terms of their emotional support. Things such as anxiety, problems with sleep, stress, and so forth. We continue to run those Connect and Cope groups, and after this run, we'll be able to run them again from January. We're also developing mindful art groups. We are again developing a journaling group, which was proved very successful in the first 2 years of its run. And now that we've got a member of the team who is developing that group, we also will be running Connect and Cope groups in the evening also. The recovery space has been growing in the last 3 years, opening up, and in 2022 to 2023, we were able to provide support to 775 people. We received 709 referrals, and we delivered over 2,812 sessions. So we provided an additional 471 support sessions for people who were in crisis between their appointments. The Croydon recovery space is also looking to grow and develop partnerships with other agencies so that we can continue to provide support to Croydon. As I said, the crisis work that we do is bespoke, and the work that we do in our sessions is personalized to each and every single client that we have. That's why our feedback has been something that's been so important to looking at how our service works and to how we can improve it. We work with our clients, as all of One Croydon does. And one thing about the recovery space is that we've tailored our groups because of what our clients have asked for. In regards to Connect and Cope group, we initially started it as a group to support people 50 plus who had kind of asked for that support. From that group, we listened to the feedback and they wanted that opened up to all people. And that's why our groups are now opening to all ages. We work with people 18 plus, and we do not see anyone under the age of 18. Does anyone have any questions?
Russell, sorry, let Jackie say. Yes.
It's not a question, Russ, it's just to clarify something. So for the crisis part of the day team, and anyone can walk into the space, Croydon Health and Wellbeing space. But for the evening service, it's more of a diversion from A&E, so that people are not admitted as inpatient, and therefore for the evening team, they have to be a trusted assessors to be able to refer on.
And those were the trusted assessors I mentioned earlier, Croydon University Hospital, GPs. So the evening is not a drop-in service, and we do only take our book to clients come into the evening. That happens at Fairfield House, which is one of mine and Croydon's buildings near East Croydon. And our drop-in service, where we are able to access drop-in, would be at the Croydon Health and Wellbeing space. And if they are deemed to be suitable for our service, because they meet our criteria, then we refer them into the recovery space, and they can access both day and evening appointments.
Right. Russell, would you be able to either provide a summary, because again, there's a lot of information there, or flyers or flyers? That would be really helpful.
Sure.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Right, I see that Amanda McGrath, hi Amanda, has now been able to join us, and as she's got a limited time to stand in for Ben, who is unable to present today, we'll go over to you, Amanda. Is that all right? You're on mute at the moment, Amanda.
Hi there. Are you able to share the presentation that I sent, or shall I? I'll try and share mine.
Do you want to try that, and I'll jump in if you can't.
Can you see that? Has that come up?
Not yet.
Ah. Are you able to share it?
I shall have a look, and yes, I should be able to do that. Just one moment. I don't open it.
Well, while you're looking for that, let me know if it does come up. So I'm Amanda. Hello everyone. I'm covering for Ben, who unfortunately is sick, and he's our men's shed person, and unfortunately he's been off sick for a couple of weeks. So the men's shed is funded through a partnership with Croydon and the South West London Health and Care Partnership. We started a men's shed, probably 5 years ago now, and then as a result of kind of not really having a service that worked for some of the people that we were presenting to us, and it's really sort of founded on the the national and international men's shed principles. So
you want me to?
Are you able to
slide? Yes.
Pardon?
We have the front.
Oh, wonderful! Yeah. So if you could go to the next slide, please, that'd be amazing. So yeah, so we have about, I think at the last count it was about 44 members. They don't all come every week, but they're sort of there's a picture of a selection of them. The criteria is that they're 18 plus, and I think our youngest member is 18, and Ron, who you might see at the foreground on the left, I think he's in his late 80s, so I think he's our eldest member. So it's a nice intergenerational group that reflects our community. So what we do is that we create opportunities to meet people who are socially isolated and who've got some mental health challenges, and it provides a safe space for people to come together, look after the mental health, and either learn a new skill such as gardening or food growing or woodwork, being out in nature, or share those skills, because obviously some of the people that attend maybe aren't as well as they were, or maybe a bit frailer, but they still have these amazing skills. The sessions run on a Friday, 11 till 3. Originally, when we started, it was a 2-hour session, but that was just too restrictive for people because some people are coming after work. We've got quite a few sort of people who are in sort of jobs where they may work and finish early on a Friday, which is why we've moved it to a Friday. And each session, we share a meal as part of that session. So, you know, for example, at the moment, the projects we're working on is building a new shed and setting up a irrigation system in the greenhouse and polytunnels. And I've also got a subgroup of people who are working on a prototype of a solar sort of charging unit made out of old CDs, which is interesting. So we're sort of just encourage the men to get on with projects that they're interested in. The staff here are all mental health first aiders, and obviously we're part of the City of Sanctuary network, so we're offering a safe space, and we're hoping to become a Garden of Sanctuary soon. Each week there's a meal involved, and sitting down and sharing a meal is a really, really important part of the sessions. Also we have a nice space as well for people to just sit and maybe just feel relaxed and safe. The activities are similar to what people traditionally might do in their garden shed, but the aim is for men to feel part of the community, feel fulfilled in achievement, obviously signpost to other services as needed. And we do have a couple of women who are part of our men's shed group as well.
Can I just ask what slide we're on now?
Oh, sorry, 10.
I'm trying to keep up with you, but I'm not sure where. So
I'm very conscious. I had 3 minutes, so I'm racing.
Oh, no, I'm on the mental health first aider.
Sorry.
That's not.
I'm on slide 10.
Right. Thank you.
Okay?
Yeah.
So here's a picture of Ben, who is our support worker, and he saying that our men's shed provides the community with a space to work things out, gain skills and be active. And some use us as a recommendation for employment. And obviously for some people who are retired, it's welcoming the opportunity to get back into a routine, which is a win-win situation. So I'm going on to slide 11 now. This is another quote from one of our younger members. And he said, places like men's sheds are good for men and people in the community as it teaches you a lot. Coming here is good for my mental health. I'm a young carer and I spend a lot of time looking after my mum at home. Getting out and learning new skills, especially in nature, and working with hands was beneficial. And he would recommend men's sheds because it's also fun. What I would also say is for Scott, he was working nights as well. So he was really sort of isolated, and you know, he really enjoyed coming and got a lot out of this. And I think he also appreciated that working nights wasn't really working for him as part of it, you know, as part of his long-term mental health issues. And then slide 12 is just a picture of our gardener Ernesto, who is who does work with the people that were coming really more for gardening. And then finally, just saying, you know, to refer to us or just join us for lunch and see if you enjoy it. I'm happy to send out a flyer. We've got one that's that's in a PDF format, but it's pretty easy. People can either just turn up on the day or they be referred.
That's great, Amanda. If you can send that to me when the meeting's finished, that would be great.
Of course I will. I'll share it for anybody. So anyone got any questions about what we do?
Can I ask a question, Amanda? So do you only take New Addington residents, or would you accept someone from other wards?
No, we've got people who come to us from Selsdon. I get some men who've got no recourse to public funds that come. They don't come all the time, but they do attend around some of the courses that they're doing. Got people that live in Forestdale. I've got 2 people that come from Purley. So yeah, it's fairly. Yeah, we're just New Addington. No.
Thank you.
Anybody that lives in Croydon is welcome.
Jenny is asking, is it a free service, Amanda?
It is a free service, yeah.
Thank you. Any more questions?
We've got quite good links with Royal Bethlehem, so because they've got a men's shed on site there, so some of their service users are referred to us afterwards when they're discharged as part of their care plan.
Just a quick question. Can we drop in on the day, or do we have to telephone before?
Well, I mean, we do sort of say to people that they're welcome to join us, but obviously, you know, from a logistical perspective, ideally, we'd like to know if somebody's coming, especially if they're coming with a referrer. You know, if it's a member of the public that's seen the flyer, and you know that's fine. But if it's a professional referring somebody and they're going to bring them along, we would prefer to know, because just from a catering perspective, we wouldn't know how many people to cook for.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to move on a bit now because we've got 3 more people to share.
Of course.
Sharon, are you there? I'm going to ask Sharon if she's there. Are you there, Sharon?
I am there. I'm here.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to get you to jump the queue because
that's fine. I was able to
mind in Croydon, so we'll let you have your slot first.
No problem. Thank you. I'll be quick. I'm Sharon Thomas. I'm the Clinical Service Director for Care to Listen Counselling. We are a not-for-profit social enterprise organisation which was founded in 2007, based in Lower Addiscombe, Croydon. We provide low-cost counselling therapy for those aged 18 upwards, so it's an adult service. And we receive referrals from IAPTs, GPs, other organisations, and clients can also self-refer to our service as well. The number of sessions that a person can have or that's available to clients is between 8 and 24 sessions. So we call that kind of short-term therapy still, because we start in, you know, we do it in blocks of 8 really, and kind of assess whether it would be beneficial to continue to have therapy, but we go up to 24. We also run a psychodynamic long-term service as well. At the moment, we do have a waiting list for this service for evening sessions, but daytime slots, there is availability for daytime slots for this service. And people can access this service in the same way as they would the low-cost counselling service in Croydon as well, which is they can self-refer, they can get referred through their GPs, IAPTs, whatever. We do have an assessment process, of course, to ensure that these clients are suitable for long-term therapy and the kind of therapy that we're providing, and it is quite stringent. So we do have an exemption criteria, which is on our website, in which we do make clients aware of what type of presenting issues we're able to work with. We have art therapy. We provide art therapy at Care to Listen. And in January, we are also starting our couples therapy. And we're trying to keep this as affordable as possible. But this will be online, and it will be with qualified counsellors. So we're starting off with a few counsellors, hopefully building up with that. So that's a service that will be starting in January. We also have a multi-ethnic counselling service. We do have, kind of jumping the gun here, but we do have, we provide the in-house counselling. We are the in-house counselling service for Croydon IAPT. And alongside that contract, we have been providing multi-ethnic counselling to people within the borough of Croydon where English isn't their first language. So we're able to provide counselling in the client's mother tongue. So we're hoping to take this a stage further and provide counselling for clients in their own language, because we have so many counsellors that do speak a second language. So this is a service that we do have at the moment. We haven't publicised it out there, put it out there too much, because we don't want to be inundated at the moment with referrals. Because we're aware that the clients that do come to us, they probably haven't got recourse to funding, to finances or anything really to help to pay for this service. So we're constantly looking for funding to help support this, but it's a service that we do have. We have also got Care to Listen School of Counselling, which is what it says it is. We are training counsellors. So we provide courses in level 2, level 3. At the moment, next year, September, we'll be doing level 4, which is a 2-year counselling course, which will enable people to actually practice after having done that course. So I think that's it. I told you I'd be quick.
Thank you, Sharon. Is it possible to either email me a summary of your services, or if you or flyers, and
yes,
we can get these out, because yeah, there's such a lot of support that we're finding, aren't we?
Yeah. I don't know if there's any questions, if anybody wants to ask anything.
No.
Lovely.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Can we go to Sarah Halley-Murray? Is Sarah there?
No, she's not. It's Jackie again, I'm afraid.
Oh, well, do you want to do a summary of Joe and Sarah's work?
Okay, I'll do that. So Sarah's service is similar to the service we just heard about, Care to Listen. So Sarah's service is a counselling service, therapeutic service, and they're based in Purley. So it's a self-referral counselling service. They do up to 12 sessions, and someone can be re-referred, or they can re-refer themselves after the 12 sessions and continue to have counselling. It really depends on why the person is being re-referred, what they're getting from the sessions, and why they want to come back to the sessions. We do have a waiting list in our counselling service, and at the moment it's up to 4 months waiting. And that's because of the number of people that are being referred to the service, and the times they're able to pick when they want their counselling sessions. And so a lot of people might be at work and want evening sessions, and so they have a bit of a longer wait for those sessions. It's a low cost service, so there is a contribution to that service, and it can be anything from £5, depending on if the person's working and they're earning, or if they're on benefits, etc. We also consider from time to time if someone can have the service without having to contribute, but that depends. They might not have any income at all, and we would look at that. We also do psychodynamics groups. We run lots of groups. We run anxiety, anger management group, which is probably one of our most attended group that we run, is the anger management group. We had, and hopefully will have in the future, depending on the council, a hoarding project that worked alongside having the group work and also the practical assistance of helping someone to declutter within the home. Very, very successful service. Through that service, we do blue light, where we support the fire service, the police, ambulance service with counselling. So it's a specific blue light service that is managed out of that service, the therapeutic service. We have up to 38 volunteer counsellors at any one time, and it's a very, very, very busy service. We have 6 supervisors who supervise the volunteer counsellors, and at any one time we might have possibly over 100 people who are getting their counselling service between the hours of 10 a.m., 9 a.m. all the way up until 9 p.m. So it goes across the entire day. But we do have a team of admin and coordinator who coordinates the service very, very well and ensure that everyone is getting what they need from the service, and the waiting list doesn't just keep on growing. It's growing more so now because now they're online and people are able to just jump on the website and refer themselves. So there's even more coming through. They also go out to places like the Home Office, HMRC, and they deliver different sessions within organisations in the borough. That's the counselling service, and in a nutshell, they're a self-referral service. So anyone can refer to that service, 18 and upwards. It's an adult mental health service for 18 and upwards. They're based in Croydon, in Purley. We are looking at the moment if there are any other spaces within the borough that are suitable for us to have counselling session. They are BACP and we work within the BACP guidelines. So that's the therapeutic counselling service. And I will send information again about the counselling service to you to include in the minutes. Last but not least, and she was the only one who gave me any form of information, is Jo from our Active Minds service. And so what is Active Minds? Active Minds promotes physical and mental well-being by supporting people with experience of mental health problems to make healthy lifestyle changes. So they co-produce all of their activities with their service users. And they run sessions right across the borough, activities right across the borough. All their activities are around well-being. And they include activities such as Zumba, which they do in Central, shopping centre upstairs. Sorry, they also do tennis and boxercise. They have table tennis, gardening, badminton, yoga. Right across the borough, they have activities in different places. Active Mind is a service that goes out to their service users. They don't wait for people to come to them. They will set up in different locations, and that's the way they attract people. They also have a very, very successful online support group where service user, they've set it up themselves and they support each other. They might have afternoon tea and their online support group, or they plan to meet up and that type of things. All their groups are free. There's nothing to pay. The only criteria is that the person is experiencing poor mental health. And that's not just our clients, that's also our carers. So they work with carers and they work with the clients as well, the service users. Beginners are welcome. They have qualified facilitators. One of the things that Active Minds are really, really good at is that if a service user goes through the service, they will get funding to then develop them and train them into facilitators, and they co-produce activities together. That's their community-based activities program. They have now started in partnership with IAPT, soon to be named Croydon Talking Therapy. They've set up another free activities group on the Bethlehem side at the IAPT building. But this group is specifically for people who are referred to IAPT and are on the waiting list. So if they're on the waiting list, rather than just sitting and waiting, they've got the opportunity to access the Active Minds group until such time when they're up on the list and they can see a counsellor. Someone who have been through the IAPT service can also access those activities right up to a year after discharge from the IAPT service. And this is all takes place up at the Bethlehem site. They do yoga, they do sound healing, mindfulness, ballet, Pilates, music. They've got a fantastic football pitch up at the Bethlehem site, which hasn't been used for God knows how long. And Active Minds is now bringing that back to use. They've got an allotment up there. They've got nature walks. So there's a lot of activities that if you've got any clients who are on IAPT waiting lists or have been discharged or finished their courses of therapy from IAPT, within a year, they can actually access those groups. Once again, they're free of charge. Not to anyone on the Bethlehem site, just to the IAPT people on the Bethlehem site. And that's Active Minds in a nutshell. Once again, I will get Joe to send all the information for those services.
All right, we're actually at 12:30 and I have sacrificed my spot because I wanted to fit a few of you in. I think you've done an amazing job. I think that's a really helpful support, to know what support there is, what you're all doing. And I appreciate you that if you can get those details to me today, preferably, because I am on a tight schedule because I want to go on holiday. But I would like to just mention that we have got, and I'm sure most of you are aware, but on the CVA website, if you go onto the homepage, there's a directories button. And if you go into the directories button, you will find 5 or 6 directories. Either there's a direct link to our Simply Connect, and you'll find mental health services on there. But there's also a booklet that I've been working on and I keep up to date. So if any of you are aware of any changes that need to be made, do let me know. But take a look. I'll send you a link for that. Do take a look and you'll see there that there's, I will add any services that are here that we haven't actually got. But if not, take a look, but do let me know. Keep us, if you find out there's a new service, let me know, put me in touch with whoever is running that. I just want to say you've been amazing. It's been a superb session, and I'll say thank you, and I will get the notes out by Friday. That's my aim. Okay. So I think I'll say goodbye if that's anyone has any other comments or questions before I do that.
Just to say thank you very much. And it was lovely to meet everyone. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for your contributions.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Wow.